today I have with me author and the owner of the Wholistic Package, Melissa Carter. Thank you so much for talking to me today, Melissa.
Hi, Michelle. Thank you so much for having me as a guest.
I'm so happy I found you. I was looking through some of your stuff, and then I realized, like, I've been doing a lot of interviews with women lately that I've all been connected with Tiffany Ann Beverlin, and
She's
you're
great.
one of them. And I was like, I don't know if I found you or you found me, but I love that we're all like somehow just connected now, and it's made me so happy.
Yes, and Tiffany's fantastic. I actually just interviewed her for my podcast, and she's actually in a book that I was a part of, The Second My Life Changed Forever, Unforgettable Faces and Stories, and that's with Eileen Doyen, who's the author. So we've all connected in these different ways.
Yes, I'm doing one right now. I'm working on a story for her new book coming out.
Okay.
She's got another book coming out in this summer, and I'm working on a story for her. So yeah, I didn't even know. That is so crazy. I'm so happy about that. That makes me happy.
Yeah. We have so many connections, and this is why social media is so great too, because there's just so many ways to connect. But I'm happy that we connected.
Right, we get to all be connected and friends, and that's awesome. But when I was looking over your stuff, I mean, you've done so much for women, and I was looking through your website on the Wholistic Package, and first of all, I want to say this right, Reiki instructor?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I always say Reiki, and then I know it's Reiki. I mean, yeah.
It's easy to mispronounce, but it's Reiki.
and I've never, my daughter was a gymnast, and she went to a Reiki person who helped her with some of her injuries, and different things. But that's my only experience that I've had with them. So what drove you to that? Like, I know it's kind of off topic, but kind of not, because I really want to know, like, what because that's really cool. It's a really cool thing, and it's really not. I don't think a lot of people know a lot about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's becoming more mainstream. Just to back up a little bit, it was in about 2012, and I was my life was so busy, and I was working 2 jobs and just leading a very busy, hectic life. And I just got to the point where I really decided that I needed something to help me relax, and just something that gave my life a little more balance. And at the time, I ended up looking online and finding Reiki, but I also, at the same time, met someone who was receiving it. She had a physical condition, and she told me about it. So, I just went online and I researched, and I found, read up on it and what it was, and I started going for sessions, and it really helped me. It has a lot of benefits to it, but balancing your energy and reducing stress and anxiety and all of these things. And I found that when it helped me, I decided to pursue the classes and become certified. And it was really just an interesting course of events that happened, because the Reiki master I was going to receive my sessions is a nun. And I was actually going to a convent to get my sessions done, and it was so peaceful and relaxing. And so she mentioned to me that she had a few people interested in the classes, so I went ahead and I completed level 1 and 2. There's 4 levels. At the 4th level, you can become a Reiki master, but I decided to stay with the 2 levels, and I completed that in 2013. It really, for me, again, it was about helping other people, and because I realized how much it affected my life. And in 2014, when I started the Wholistic Package, I started off as a Reiki practitioner, and that's what I was doing. I mean, I work full time, and I've been working full time, but I really had a passion for, and always have had a passion for, helping other people in various ways. So I started the Wholistic Package, and it's called the Wholistic Package because holistic, and it's WHOLISTIC, means us as a whole. And so my idea was being the whole package, a play on the whole package, mind, body, and spirit. So that's really how I came up with that. And I, was performing or practicing in 2 locations at the time, and I still work in 2 locations. And it just is something that I, like I said, I get a lot of gratification from that, because I've not only worked with people going through all different conditions. I volunteer with the Cancer Society, so people going through chemo and radiation, people going from one end of the spectrum to the other. So it could be, I had a young man come in and tell me that, I asked him, he was about 20 years old, and, it's interesting to have a 20-year-old man or boy come in, young man, and I asked him why he decided to schedule a session, and he said to reduce the negativity in his life. So I find it fascinating because I've had people who come in just for a relaxation session, which is like, a lot of times similar to why people go for acupuncture or do yoga or massage. But again, I've also had people who are going through emotional and physical conditions as well. So, just the fact that I've been able to, I feel like, been able to help a lot of people. And not only that, but as you said, it's not really mainstream. Right. It's a healing art. It actually is a Japanese healing art. And it's not as mainstream as massage and acupuncture and yoga and all of these things. It's building. But in the Western culture, it's a Japanese art. So in the Western culture, it's not as mainstream. So a lot of times, even from the time I started this, 2014, when I started the Wholistic Package, a lot of this has been educating people on what it is, that it exists, and what the benefits. And really, and like I said, it balances our energy. And the idea is that when our energy is balanced, that we're in our best state of health, mind, body, and spirit. And it reduces stress and anxiety. It promotes healing, reduces toxins, reduces negativity. And basically, again, it's about our mind, body, and spirit working together. And for me, when I was going through that period of stress and those things, that I really saw the effect that it had on me physically. So it was kind of like my mental and physical and emotional working together. So I realized, so I think that's what intrigued me so much, is that Reiki made me realize that all three are combined, really. Right. Our mental state, our physical state, and our spiritual state. So, I started doing that, and I've continued that. And insofar as the writing, I have always been passionate about writing. I mean, that's just from the time I was a little girl. I've always been a writer, and really it started with poetry. And my mom's a big inspiration because she's very artistic. She's actually a musician, and she's always been a writer as well. So, it started off with that. And I'd say about within the past 6 or 7 years, I just came up with an idea, and it turned into an idea for a children's book. And it just came together, but it did take a long time. I mean, it took several years. Right. I've never written or published anything formally, so I really didn't know what the process was. So basically, I really got the storyline together first and what I wanted. And then I did a lot of research on illustrators and just illustrations. And I am not an artist, but I have an idea of what I wanted for the illustrations. So I found a local illustrator in my area, and she's great, Jean Bennis. She's fantastic. And she worked with me on the book to illustrate all of my ideas, and she did a fantastic job. And, at that point, it was like, do I want to find a traditional publisher and go that route, or do I want to do self-publishing? And a lot of people are self-publishing these days. There's a lot of platforms. And so what I did is I went with Create Space. And I really found that it is a great platform. I actually worked with a graphic designer as well to kind of work with me to help do the layout. So I went that route. And the book has been amazing. It's called Little Lucky Ladybug. And the premise of the story is that we're all special and unique in our own way. So the ladybug, she approaches each creature, and they all think that she's special and lucky, as ladybugs are known for. And she makes them realize that they each have something special that only they can do. So really, it's ages 3 to 7, and elementary children. And the message again is that we're all special and unique in our own way. And in the back of the book, I also included activity pages as an additional learning tool. So there's a maze, there's a connect the dots, there's a coloring, and there's also a part where they could write in what their favorite part of the story is. And my goal with the book was really, it is on Amazon and Create Space. But my goal with the book was really to connect with schools and literacy organizations, and it was actually listed on PACERS, which is a national anti-bullying organization, and that was, probably in the past year and a half. And then also it was listed on Macaroni Kid, which is a platform for kids. And I've also done in my local area book signings, as well as I do consignment with bookstores. I'm actually in our local Hallmark franchise in my area, which is fantastic. And then I also worked, as I said, fundraising with schools, but and like I said, looking for different literacy organizations and things of that nature. So that was my goal with the children's book. And from there, I've had so many things going on that I decided, kind of moving forward. From that part, I've just done a lot of mentoring and working with young women or women in general, but I've done mentoring at, for example, the YMCA. I've had interns with my business, so, I've mentored them in some way. And I've always, for me, it's just inspiring other people is probably my main mission and goal. And whatever that way that is, whether that be through Reiki or the writing or mentoring. So there's a lot of positive quotes that I say often. Mm-hmm. So, why not make those into T-shirts and just have something besides the positivity. I also enjoy fitness, and it's something that I really love to do, and it makes me feel good. So, and I always say that with fitness or writing or anything you do, it really, the motivation that comes from within you first. So you have to have that self-motivation. You have to believe in yourself. And it really comes from within to take any physical step forward. You have to have that mental motivation, I say. So the shirts and the tees and the tank tops are really the goal with them is to give people that initial motivation and empower women. I mean, that's what it's about for me as well, is empowering women. So whether that be through physically, or again, if it's a physical fitness goal or emotional or something having to do with a career. So, with that, I really tried to, I actually worked with a graphic designer, and she did a great job with the design. And my goal with those is actually partnering, and I'm talking to a couple different organizations, and do fundraisers with organizations. So where a portion of the sales goes towards an organization, because again, for me, it's all about giving back and helping people. So kind of within that time, in the past 6 months, I did reshift a little bit. Still working on the children's book locally and doing those things, and it's online, and partnering hopefully with local organizations. But I really did shift to focusing on Reiki, and then I have the t-shirts, and then I started my podcast, and I started that probably within the past couple months. Again, it's something that took a lot of research with all of these things and finding the right platform. And I knew it was something where I wanted it to be about women inspiring other women. Mm-hmm. And it kind of stemmed from last year. I had a local TV show in my area called Empowering Entrepreneurs. Uh-huh. And I had about 7 women. I did 4 episodes. And they did everything from, there was a woman who runs a diaper bank. It's called No Bottom Left Behind. And so there's a local woman in my area who does that. I had a couple of different success coaches. I had a woman who is a health coach and also she basically offers healthy vending machines to schools and businesses. Another woman who runs, it's called She's a Boss organization to mentor young women and girls. So it was a variety of women who were on there. And from that time, I thought, you know what, I want to expand this out of my local area. I really want to do something where I can reach a lot of people globally, nationally, and locally. And I thought, what great way would be, better than a podcast or something online where I can, work with people virtually. And because social media, everybody can have a presence on social media. So I thought, this would be great. So I have just started this, I said, as I said, about, in the past couple months, and I've had a few guests so far. So I had Simonetta Lean, and she is the founder of the Wishwall Foundation, and she's amazing, and Tiffany and Beverlyn, founder of Dreams Recycled. So it's just been amazing. I also had Eileen Doyen and Linda Ann Barber. Linda's from my area. So, it really has been amazing. And that's my goal to go forward, is to continue doing that and inspire women. And the last piece really that I'm working on right now is a book for women. And it's a business / inspirational book for women. And really, I was inspired to do this because I'm a part of so many different networking groups online and in my area. And I've just seen over the past year or two that I've seen the way women support other women and empower other women. And I was inspired to do this because I feel like there's something happening in society where it is moving in the direction of more women becoming entrepreneurs, women moving up in the workplace, and women empowering other women. So for me, that's really how I was inspired. So it's basically a compilation of stories from over 20 women. And it also talks about, it's women from various regions, various age groups. So I have millennial women, and I have women who have been in their field for years. It's about, and really different industries as well. I have everybody from tech industry, and just all different industries. So, it's about them telling their story and their background and how they got to where they are today, but also how are they inspiring other women and advice for other women. And I include also information about female entrepreneurs and in general, like statistics, as well as women in the workplace, and just some other, it will be an interesting, hopefully an interesting and inspirational and informative book. So that's really what I'm going for, is really for it to be informative and inspirational. And I think just hearing people's stories, I've read through some of their stories already, they're getting through everybody's information. And it's amazing to read people's backgrounds and where they are today or how they got there and the work that they're doing and how they're empowering other women. Some of the stuff I read, it's almost emotional, and it has such an impact. So I'm hoping that it does the same for other people, and it's just something, it's really, a big project for me this year, and I'm so excited about it. And I'm just in the process of compiling the information and working on that now. So that's really kind of covers where I am and what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, and that, what I find so awesome is, when you talked about Tiffany and Eileen and you, and it's like, I love finding women that are now like, because I have daughters in their 20s, okay? And like at this other age, and the positivity, like just, from talking to Tiffany and Eileen, they're the most positive, and I can tell you are too. And it's like, we've been through stuff, but we're still here, and we're so positive, and we want to help that generation of women and say, it's all going to be okay.
Exactly.
Because, my daughters are going through stuff right now, but I'm their mom. Like, I can only help so much, but that's, I had to talk with Tiffany about that, like, because she's doing a lot of stuff with that, just like you are, and just like Eileen is that, like, we're lifting those women up and saying, it's okay, it's, this all works out because they have kids, and they have, whatever going on in their life, and they feel, even today, even in 2017, my one daughter still feels stuck in the motherhood. She's got 2 little boys, and they still, because I was a stay-at-home mom, okay, but it's like, I want to save them, but I did that, I don't regret it, but there's more, you can do more,
Exactly. And I think, like you said, it's about inspiring I'm about inspiring people of all ages, but especially, like you said, the younger generation coming up. And I think that's what makes the book so interesting as well, because I have these women who are the millennial women starting out, right. And then, I have women who are, into their career, and then women who are, like I said, have been in these industries for years. So it's getting all these different perspectives.
Yes.
And I think that's really important. And just points of view from, from having the years of experience to where the millennials are now and their perspective. It's great that, just any kind of empowerment and inspiration to give to these girls. And like I said, when I went to the YMCA and I talked to them and I talked to them about the book, the children's book.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not about my book, but it's more about how I got there. Like, it's about the path. And I just find that, I mean, at the end of the day, I believe everybody has a purpose and everybody has a passion and everybody has, a mission. And I believe that this is where I'm supposed to be. And I mean, believe it or not, I used to be really shy and I wasn't a big talker. But, I found that the more I have just been able to voice like what I'm doing and helping people, I think at the end of the day, has just been so important to me. I mean, one presentation I gave to college students was supposed to be a half-hour presentation. I talked to them for 2.5 hours about starting your own business, being an entrepreneur, but also the successes and challenges. So I do like to be informative and educate people on, whether it be the steps it takes to write the book. And I've been in actually other publications. I've been featured in a couple different, it's Atlantic Publishing, and it's called So You Think You Want to Write a Children's Book. And it's actually a book geared towards teens who want to write a children's book. So, I've been in that and just sharing my story, as I said, and being able to be a resource and a voice and a platform. And that's really my goal with the podcast and the book, is to expand that and be the resource and be the platform to inspire other people and connect other people. Because I think that that's really, that's so essential. A big part of it for me is connecting people with other people and sharing the information and sharing the inspiration and sharing the empowerment.
Right. And I love the fact that you're teaching the younger girls, like going to the college, like about entrepreneur, because I almost feel like that's where we're headed. It's not like get out of college, go get a job at a big company. Not that that's not okay if that's what you want to do, but it's options. Like you can have your own company, Yeah. I think they're like, what? I can have my own. It's like, yes, you can. You can do your own thing and people will, come to you and, like you can have your own message.
Yeah, and and I try to also be realistic with them and tell, let them know, and everybody knows this who's an entrepreneur knows that it is extremely hard work. And I think that one of the biggest things that you have to have is patience, because things don't happen overnight. Things take time. I am the type of person who there's been a lot of things that I've been interested in doing, and and I do work a full-time job as well. So it just is, there's a saying that you can have it all, you just can't have it all at once. And I believe that. I believe you can have things, and I think it's in stages, and I think that's okay. I feel like if you had some kind of joy or, contentment from experiencing something, even for a short period of time or a period of time in your life, then you'll get that fulfillment. So, and I've had experiences with that, and the other part of it is being adaptable. Life always changes, and 5 years ago I never thought I'd be in the place I am. I don't even think I knew what Reiki was about 7 years ago. So it's like you never know what's going to happen or where you're going to be, and I always tell people just be adaptable, be open-minded, and that's a really important key for an entrepreneur, because the world is always changing and things are inevitably going to change. So you have to be open and adaptable in your own business, and it's okay if you try things and they don't necessarily work out the way you thought. There's other options, and I always think, like, as they say, it's never a failure; it's always a lesson, and you're always learning something. And I've learned so much in the past 3 years just from doing what I've been doing, and just the education alone from what I've learned about business or about Reiki or about writing or about, technical things, and doing a podcast and all of these things, networking and reaching people and, just the research and the education and the knowledge that I've gained is a success in itself, and the inspiration that I hope that I've provided to people.
Right, and it makes you so happy. Like, that's the thing about doing it for yourself. It's so motivating because it's for you and it's what you want to do. I find that, that's what I love. It's like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, what do I want to do with this today? What part do I want to contribute? But I have to ask a question. So when I was going through the Wholistic Package, the name that came to mind for me was Louise Hay. And I wanted to know if you were, a big Louise Hay fan.
Yeah, I definitely, Louise, and there's so many people now who are
that have come
inspirational, writers, and I would define my style in that way of, that inspiration and advice and information. Gabrielle Bernstein is another writer.
Yes,
and
I love her.
There's just so many people, but I gravitate towards them because, it's kind of in the genre, I feel like, that the way that I write and kind of the same messaging, and there's always that positivity,
right.
And inspiration, and that's anything that I write or put out there. I mean, everything I do, I try to have a positive message. There's a lot of negativity in the world, and I want to be, there's a saying that says, I stopped looking for the light and I decided to become it.
Yes.
And I just love that saying because I feel like I've always had a little something unique or special. And I always thought it was just because I was a redhead. But as I grew older and I just, I always felt like there's something that I have inside that, and I think it's just my drive and my passion and always my feeling of wanting to help other people. And I've done a ton of fundraising, and I was a board member for a homeless shelter for women and children, and I did the team in training half marathon for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So I fundraised for them, and I worked with the Animal Protective Foundation in my area and was on their gala committee. And, I've just been a part of so many different things to help either people or animals or whatever the case is. And, and that's what I base my business around too. It's just really built on that foundation of helping people, inspiring people, and being authentic. And I think being authentic is, and I've heard authenticity, that word used so many times with so many people recently, and that's what people relate to. And we're human, and, everybody has flaws. And I always say I never strive for perfection. I want to be relatable, and, I just want people to be, inspired, and I believe in that authenticity is really important in connecting with people, because we all go through things. And I think even with Reiki, that's why I became so passionate, because I experienced firsthand, that, how it helped me. And instead of just kind of being a preacher about it and not really knowing much about it, I learned just based on my own experience. So I'm so passionate about it because I feel like I can help other people. So I'm always determined to educate people that it exists, and just let people know that it's an option that's out there. And like I said, on the other side, the women empowerment and inspiring other people through whatever platform that may be, that's always a goal as well. So.
Right. And I think that we're learning too is that positivity, translates into our health as we're, and I always I'm always like that with thinking about when anything goes wrong in my body. I'm always like, okay, what is it telling me? What is it, because it is mind, body, spirit. It's not disconnected. It's all connected,
Exactly. And part of that, and with Reiki, they talk about how stress can cause the toxins to build up in illness. And when we're really stressed, obviously, with the illness and things like that can happen. And then on the opposite side, when we're relaxed, our body almost the things they say is that it almost helps self-heal. And, and that's, it really is true. And I feel like that as well, like the positivity and what you take in, emotionally and those types of things, really definitely have an effect. So I really try to stay positive myself, just, attitude-wise. But it's not, everything's, like I said, everyone's human, and you deal with situations, but it is really how you deal with them as well, and how your outlook is a huge thing. And I just try to surround myself with positive people and positive things on a daily basis. And I wake up every morning and I'm just like, I'm bubbly and I'm just like this at 5:00 in the morning. So,
right.
But it's just because I appreciate, and that's another huge thing is I take everything day by day.
Yes.
And yes, it's all about gratitude. And it really is living in the moment, being present in that moment, and just being grateful for everything, and not taking anything for granted, and just appreciating the little things. I mean, walking outside and it's a beautiful sunny day, or just being able to spend time with my loved ones or whatever it may be. Take time and sit there and write for an hour. All of those things, I appreciate the fact that that I can do those things. So I think when you have that gratitude, it really makes a huge difference, because you're always looking at what you have instead of what you don't have.
Right.
And that really matters.
Yes. I'm always telling my kids, if they come to me with a complaint, I'm like, did you write a gratitude list today? They're like, no. I'm like, sit down,
it's true.
Take a moment, write about all the good things that are happening. And then it minimizes, the thing that isn't maybe working out so well. Then you're like, oh, okay, you put it in perspective to everything that is working out, because that list is always bigger.
It's true. It's true. And there's a lot most people have a lot actually to be grateful for. And
we just forget. We forget. Well, it was so nice to meet you, Melissa. I'm so happy that we know each other now, and I can't wait for your book. I mean,
Thank you.
I saw on your website that it's coming, and I was like, yes, I can't wait for it to come out. I mean, you definitely let me know, and I'll be there to buy it on Amazon.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. It's great meeting you, and I appreciate this. I appreciate any opportunity like this, because again, it's a chance to connect with others and inspire. And I always say that I always put myself out there as a resource as well. So if people want to contact me, they can go to wholisticpackage.com, and that's WHOLISTIC.
I'll have it listed underneath. Yes, I'll have all your links and your podcast links and everything under there for people to listen to. And I can't wait to go on, because I did see that you were talk to them, and I was like, okay, I want to hear them. I want to hear them, So, I mean, I think what you're doing is amazing, and I'm so happy to know you.
Well, thank you, and you as well.
Okay, have a great day. Thank you.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.